Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Lavigne, singer/vocal coach here on YouTube and in real life, coincidentally enough. And today we are looking at the great Canadian songstress Katie Lang and her rendition of the classic Cryin' by the late, great Roy Orbison. And this comes to us from Antithetical, who has been a contributor, longtime contributor here on the channel, reached out to me via the links down below and says, "Hi, Ken, Antithetical here. You may have done this one, but I couldn't find it." It's Katie Lang doing Cryin' at the tribute concert for Roy Orbison in February 1990 at the Cleveland Amphitheater. I believe it was this performance that made her a star in the USA. I think one of her big songs was Constant Craving back in the day. Anyway, here she is 2 years after the tragic passing of a youthful Roy Orbison. I don't know, maybe youthful isn't the word that you describe, but he was only 52, is that correct? Do I have my dates right? 1936 to 1988, so I think that's 52 years. Maybe I'm math deficient in that regard. Anyway, regardless of that, one thing that isn't deficient is Katie Lang's version of Cryin'. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. This is back in 1988. This is live footage. Let's put this down a little bit. Turn this up.
For a while, I could smile for a while. Then I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight when you stopped to say hello.
Interesting. So that first phrase there, three things that are really identifiable about Katie Lang in her voice. One is that her vibrato sometimes is a little bit slow and smoky. And then, I should say slow, but it's characteristic of her. She just sort of takes a little bit more time. And then she does this vocal fry into a little bit of a vocal cry in that, all in the span of about 30 seconds. I was a little worried that she was going to miss her mark there with the rest of the band because she was wanting, it seemed to me like she wanted to take a little bit more time on that phrase and before she made that stop. Let's just back it up here for a second.
You held my hand so tight when you stopped.
Yeah, and she had to get that little catch breath in there just before, when you stopped. And it almost felt like she forgot that moment was going to be there. She was just so lost in the wonderful tone that she was producing.
To say hello, you wish me well, you couldn't tell. I'd been crying over you, crying over you.
Nice.
And you said so long, left me standing all alone, alone and crying, 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 crying. It's hard to understand
Yeah.
that the touch of your hand.
The girl, Katie Lang can belt. Oh my goodness. And really just rip your heart out on those notes. It's just how she crescendos and diminuendos on them and just, it's really quite a special voice for sure. No doubt.
And start me crying. Thought that I was over you, but it's true. Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, she does this cowboy yodel halfway through, like so many. It's so characteristic. That's Katie Lang right there. You're not going to mix her up with any other voice.
I love you even more than I did before. Oh, darling, what can I do?
You just notice how she handled that moment differently than at the beginning. She held it through the band stop right there. Just listen to it again.
What can
Hang on.
even more than I did before. Oh, darling, what can I do?
Nice. Very stylistic. Lots of back phrasing happening here where the band is playing straight and she's playing behind the beat, singing behind the beat, really with intention, trying to just milk every one of those gorgeous tones for all it's worth.
No, you don't love me, and I'll always be crying over you, crying over you, yeah.
Beautiful suspension. Yeah, so great. Some intelligent choices to Roy Orbison, from my memory, crying over you, instead of flipping up the octave, which I think could potentially cause a few problems for her voice. I'm not sure, but she decides to stay down, and you don't really notice it as being different. It makes intelligent sense as you're listening to it.
Now you're gone, and from this moment on, I'll be crying, 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 yeah,
It just goes on. Yeah, the crowd erupts, rightfully so. Did you notice here as she's let's just catch a bit of this audience appreciation for that wonderful rendition. Yeah, they're obviously going crazy for that. One of the things that I notice you can see here throughout the performance, where is she sending her energy? Now, I know that she's looking up with her eyes closed, creating her own space. And I talk about this with some of my more advanced students beyond the technique of just creating and generating the sound. There's a reason why we're doing this, and that is to communicate something beyond just the sound. And that's what Katie Lang just does so beautifully, even translates. 30 years later, here she is, here we are, watching this performance. And yeah, I'm mesmerized and I'm buying it. It's so true. It rips your heart out, like just, you get into that moment and it becomes more about the communication of the emotion of those lyrics. That's the artist of the performer. That's the art of performance right there. And I think many young singers would do well to watch some of these seasoned professionals, how they get into that particular headspace, that it's not so much about the voice and being perfect. It really isn't. It's nice to have, and it's one of the things that you train for years to try and remove any potential impediment to your performance so that you can actually create that conduit to the audience so that emotional heft or content is delivered directly to them. It's a unique experience, and it's certainly a unique skill to be able to hone. And that's why we love great performance, and that's why we love great voices. And, sometimes great performers aren't necessarily great singers. And Katie Lang happens to be both. So booyah for her and booyah for Antithetical. Thank you very much for sending me a comment via the links down below, as well as a kind donation. Much thanks and appreciation to you as well. Please, those are a few of my thoughts, but what are your thoughts? What do you think of this performance? Does it enhance what you already love and appreciate about Roy Orbison and how he had that same ability to just cut through everything with the power of his voice and get right to your soul? I want to know. Let me know your thoughts down below as well. If you are not yet a member of this fabulous community of vocal aficionados and music lovers, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and the thumbs up icon. It helps feed the algorithm that helps feed you all of these delicious videos. You won't miss out on any of the neat stuff that we produce here every week on the channel. And lastly, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and spending a few of those precious moments here with me. Much love and appreciation to you all. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.